doing, peeps? I got another video. We gonna react to it.
I believe she made some videos about an Airbnb that she had and all of this other type of stuff. And I think the video that I did a review of about her was how much she make. They had did a breakdown like her and her sister or something like that. Did a breakdown of how much she makes, right? But she recently dropped a video, and the name of the video was something like, "Is it better to rent or buy?" Because she's moving, but she decided to rent, even though she has the ability to be able to buy. And I thought it'd be a good conversation. I haven't seen the video yet, but I think that it would be worth.
Yeah, I believe. I believe if you're not having a family, you should be renting.
Having a conversation about it because there's a lot of conversation going on about affordability, renting, buying, and all of this stuff. And I have a different perspective or a different mentality when it comes to renting and buying. And so I thought it would be worth watching this video and reviewing it together.
After about a year of searching, I am finally moving to a bigger place. And contrary to what I thought when I first started looking, I decided to rent instead of buy. A year ago, I was determined to buy because if you have the money to do it, it's what you do in America, right? It's a sign of success and it's always the best investment, right? This is so ingrained in many of us, we're blinded to the fact that it's not always true anymore. I'm going to explain why I decided to sign a lease and rent for another year, even though I technically could buy, and why I think this is the better financial decision for me. The first reason I decided not to buy and instead sign a new lease is because when I actually ran the numbers, it wasn't the best investment. And this was hard for me to wrap my mind around because for many years, buying was a great investment. Really, for much of the past 50 years, and even as early as 2021, if you bought a place, your monthly cost would be the same, if not slightly cheaper, than the cost to rent a comparable place. But this is just not the case anymore. With where prices and interest rates are currently, usually the monthly mortgage cost would be much higher than a comparable unit for rent. When you actually run the numbers, it's pretty surprising. So take this condo, for example, that is in the $800,000 price range. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, about 1,000 square feet. And this is pretty typical of what you'll find in this price point in Los Angeles.
Is that what y'all paying? Y'all paying 800 bands for 1,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom
I mean,
condo?
I mean, that's in LA, so that's probably common. If if New York and Florida, the average home is 1 million. I'm pretty sure LA is probably like 1.2, 1.3.
Y'all are getting finessed. And y'all got to pay property taxes. And y'all give up a percentage of y'all income as far as the highest income taxes in the United States of America.
Yep,
Man, y'all smoking crack, bro.
yep. That's why me. If anything, I'm gonna build a house and it's gonna be in Arkansas. I believe wherever the most affordable place to live is, that's where I'm gonna go. This is not gonna happen to me.
No way. No way under on God's green earth. And y'all got bad squatters laws. And y'all probably got to pay HOAs. Ain't no way on God's green earth. I know y'all love that California weather, that Los Angeles weather. Ain't no way on God's green earth that I'm buying a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom condo for 1,000 square feet in Los Angeles for $800,000. You smoking crack, bro. I can't swing it. I can't see it. But let's continue.
For a place like this, the monthly mortgage is nearly $6,000 a month because of today's 7%
Crazy.
interest rate. Meanwhile, there are plenty of 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartments that are arguably more updated. You can see the floors in the kitchen do look more modern in this one, that are less expensive. This one is renting for $4,500 a month. Not to mention, you also have that down payment that you could leave in the stock market. There's the opportunity cost of that as well. So for this place, it's a $160,000 down payment, and if you're getting the average stock market return, that's $16,000 per year that you're losing out on. Not to mention, if you're saving $1,500 a month because it's cheaper to rent, you can invest that as well. And in 5 years, you would have nearly $400,000. And so the question
So that she actually did a really good breakdown.
well, and in 5 years, you would have nearly four.
So basically, what she's saying, because a lot of times people don't pay attention to the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is the opportunity to be able to own it, to be able to put your name on it, right? I don't look at a place that you live at as an investment. I just don't. I don't look at a place that
Yeah, that's for family and stuff. That's why I said if you're not gonna have a family, I wouldn't get a home ever. I wouldn't buy a home ever if I'm not gonna have a family. Unless you're a certain if unless you're a certain age and you know you're gonna be here for the rest of your life, you can buy. It makes sense to buy. But a younger somebody in their 30s or 40s, you don't really have a family, you should rent. But if you have a family or you're getting old and you know you're gonna be in the specifics, you're gonna be in this specific location for the rest of your life, you can buy. Nothing's wrong with that.
put over your head that you're actually living in as an investment. I look at a stock market as an investment. I look at investing in a company as an investment. I look at starting a specific business as an investment. I look at owning real estate that you're renting out to other people, that you're generating income as an investment. I don't look at a home that you live in as an investment. Now, if you want to have a conversation about how much you can customize it, whether or not you want to have maintenance and all of this stuff, then that's a completely different conversation. But even if you just look at the opportunity cost, meaning the amount that you're making every single year as far as a 10% return on your money, which is not unheard of. In
Oh yeah, by the way, this is Anton Daniels. He builds and rent out. He builds and rent out buildings, so he know what he's talking about.
this particular market, as a matter of fact, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you probably should be getting at least a 12 to 13% return on your money if you join in the Patreon and stock club.
Yep. Not even. You can just put your money in a mutual fund or the S&P. Get 10 to 11% a year. And if you diversify your portfolio, let's say you put let's say you put some money in some bonds, and then you put a good amount of money in the S&P. That's like 13 to 12% a year, guaranteed. So you gotta be like I said, guys. You gotta take high chance success. So anything that's gonna give you a high chance that you're gonna make money or it's gonna work out, then you take it. Every once in a while, you can take a little calculated risk, but you take high chance setup, so you know for a fact, or you know it's a really good chance you're gonna win or make money. That's why I tell you I don't day trade. That's why I tell you. So I tell y'all, if you don't try to start up a company, if you can't set it up to the point where you're damn near guaranteed to win, then it's a bad deal.
Um, you're basically saving by taking that $160,000 plus $1,500 that you saving on not buying the place on top of a 10% return. And you basically, after a certain amount of time, you sitting on close to $400,000 that you could have kept in your pocket versus front loading a mortgage in which you're going to be paying the majority of it in interest over to a mortgage company, over to a bank. And so this is why we say that, hey, listen, just because you're buying instead of renting, don't mean that you're coming out ahead.
Yep.
Just because you're buying because instead of renting does not mean that you're coming out ahead. You also got to factor in maintenance. You also got to factor in repairs. You also got to factor in property taxes. You also, if you have it, have to factor in.
Property taxes is hell. I swear to God, I hate it. It's hell. If you don't pay that shit, they take your property. They don't care if you buy it cash. You gotta pay that shit. So if you guys don't have your money together, you that's another thing too. If you buy a house, you gotta have some money, bro. You got to. If you gotta have some money because if you cannot pay them that property tax, they take in the property.
HOA fees. And so there's a lot of costs.
HOA fees too. You gotta follow those rules too. You can get sued fucking around with the people. I don't deal with HOA. I hate them niggas. Sorry for my language, but I do not like them motherfuckers. I hate them.
That we don't take into accountability, right? There's downfalls, King, and there's pros and there's cons. It depends. It depends on how long you live in it. It depends on the area that you buy. It depends on whether or not you can get a better return for your money. It depends on if you decide that you want.
All right, guys, I gotta end the video. I'm not because if I react to a video too long and I don't edit it, they're gonna say it's not my content, so I can't be on a video for too long. But what I'm gonna say is if you're not having a family, if you're not old and you know you're gonna be here for the rest of your life, I would not buy. I would not buy. Don't get a house to brag. Don't get a house to you know to post on Instagram. I got a house, and then the interest increase, and now you got to pay more in your mortgage, and now it's gonna be harder for you to make the payments, right? And plus, if you have a house, you have to have your shit together. Because if you don't pay those property taxes, they take your property. So if 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 you want to be in a certain place for a long time, or you want to get a family, I would get a home. If you're just going through life, if you're working, if you don't have a family, if you don't feel like if you don't feel like you and another thing too, if you don't feel like you're gonna be in the same place a couple years from now, you feel like you're gonna move, you should not buy. You should rent, and most people should rent. All right.